ready for some boom, baby, boom, rise and shine on a quiet morning motivation time. Your host with the mostest, Mark Saint, and this morning's been a nice, quiet morning, and we're talking about the sun shining and the clouds going by and running out of time in this life to make the history not as big as the mystery of the future, because it tends to be shit. At 45, I think I've left half my life, and I've already had so many experiences that I think it's going to bleed into the future. I'm going to have this conversation this morning because it became a thought that, like, I ran out of time. I'm no spring chicken anymore, and all the damage is done will probably damage the future as well. And I know that doesn't sound very motivational, but this is the reason why you got to get out there and do something before your history isn't a mystery. And this is what we're going to bless up morning motivation. Let's go. So, my thumbnail is a post about red flags, you know, and then you end up seeing red flags everywhere, you know. If you are a red flag magnet or somebody that's put up red flags or seen red flags their whole life, you know, you're always going to wonder what's going on. Hey, I'm always curious what's in there. In this bit. We're the print shop right here, this section.
Yeah.
In this section.
That's
Nobody.
emergency shelter, the red shelter. Yeah, that's the shelter.
Understand. Thank
Yeah.
you, brother. Thank you. Morning. Good morning to all these new people. Good morning. Good morning again. Good to see you walking. You know, it becomes that too late to change a habit, like walking past a stranger without saying hi every time. Um, Too late to be new anymore. I think that's the edge. It's almost like a what do they call that? Beginner's luck. You know, when it's like someone's first starting out and they're about to sell a car, they're so naive and they don't even know what they see. So it's hard for them to bleed into their car deals. They just walk randomly into selling a car instead of through experience. And experience is the best teacher, but experience is also the haunter of your habits. It's going to be the one that hangs around and be like, I had let it take place so long that I ran out of time. I ran out of time to adjust my diet. You know, I ran out of time to adjust my habits. I literally have been captivated by everything that has made me who I am, gave me such a entrenched, the tranches, they keep calling it a well-placed tranche. I love this word, tranche. And to say, I've carved away. And then you carve so deeply, it's hard to undo your own ways. You run out of time to reverse the aging or reverse the pattern or to reverse the red flags. I think that what ends up happening is that we'll get stuck in our situations, that is, and we won't know how to be acting differently. We won't know how to stop ourselves from doing the same thing. And we're on the clock each day and we'll wait around for something else to happen but keep the same patterns. And then when we look up, we'll have aged. You know, we have outweighted our action. Maybe should have said action overweighted. Maybe that should be a shirt, because if we stay on the same wavelength, holding this in our heads consistently, we're going to get those consistent results and run out of time to change the results. That's what I meant by running out of time. You'll run out of time to out learn yourself, to out teach yourself, to out move yourself. There's not enough time on the clock. You've been moving the way that you want to move, and to undo a move is impossible. Like chess, you're not allowed to undo a move. The moves you make are stacking in your favor or against you. And I just watch people constantly stack their favor against their own favor, their habit. Here goes my boy. Their patterns and their inability to change those patterns. That's what I'm seeing happening consistently and thoroughly throughout all things. Is you're going to have situations where you will continually stack in the way that you feel, and the way that makes you feel comfortable, and the way that you ease into your own life, and that will stack against you. How? Ni hao. Yeah, brother. And stack against ourselves. Well, we've outworked this whole pile, just working on one pile, that if we wanted to reverse that pile, we ran out of time to throw it back. That's how I think it's been acting. We won't seize the opportunity of the day because we count on the next day that something else will change, and we don't change for the next day. We do the exact same. And when we hold those same patterns, we're depleting our clock. It's almost like the sport. When you're in sports, you only have so much time to make a play. And if you're busy making one play, there's not enough time on the clock to reverse the play. And that's why it's so important to get up and play and make a decision and make a move, because that's all we got is the now. Once the clock has been spent and once the time has ran out, that's the way it goes in the history books. That's like the almanac. When we were watching what was it, Back to the Future Part 2, that almanac was already predicting the future, and we were like, how do we not get the almanac in Biff's hands? You know what I mean? And Biff will take the whole world in a different, darker direction. And when we play these darker directions, it leaves us little time on the clock to undo those things. We if we continually keep the habit, then it gets stronger. And until we get stronger than our habits, then we have more time to get centered, meditate, pray, whatever the fuck you do to get your equilibrium back, your oxytocin, your mental health and physical health. And that's what takes place. We continually stack against ourselves. I keep thinking of this kind of seesaw effect. And when you are like, hey, I want my balance back, you have to go outrush yourself on borrowed time. We still got to sleep. We still got to eat. We still got to shit. And if you want to get back to it, the amount of work it takes. And people say, I'm working on myself. Let's say you hit 30 years old, and you're working on yourself. And for 30 years, you've been doing one thing one way, and now you have to do it for another 30 years to undo it. You'll be 60 by the time you've unlearned your lessons, and then you've ran out of time. Then you're retired. That's almost retirement age. I know they want to push it to 75. 65 is about retirement age. And by then, you're retired. You've already tired out yourself on all the habits. I know people talk about getting sick and tired of getting sick and tired, about running out on, what do they call it? Rock bottom. And we've been watching people talk about rock bottom stories where the girl was buying drinks on a credit card. I think I've seen that chick before. And that credit card ran out, and they said, hey, you're run out of money. And she texted back, come over. They literally said, stop spending your money. And her lonely heart invited Chase Bank to come over. That time is gone. I have news for you, son. That time has passed. And I think a lot of us are like living in the past instead of healing the past. We'll live in these reoccurring thoughts, patterns, and conversations in our head to outdo all this. What do they call it? What is it called? Dread. It's called existential dread, that we have made mistakes. At first, it feels like it's so far. Well, there's this old man pedaling past on his bike, that it was so far in advance, that we would have so much time ahead. And then it catches up with us, and we said, damn, that's how I spent my time. That's how I spent my bread. It's like trying to spend a dollar twice, you know? Time is this commodity where you can go make more dollars, but you can't make more time. And that makes it an uneven playing field. It makes it more powerful. It makes what you do now determine any of the other effects that's going to take place, even the effects that are already in the past. It's like bringing a boatload in a backpack and just going like, man, I've been carrying these rocks for a hot minute. That's what it feels like. It feels like all those boulders of emotional baggage have to be relifted, and you might have ran out of time to unlift those things. They might have been so well entrenched inside you that you might not have any time to undo it. It's like old dog, new tricks. The old dog doesn't have any new time to learn new tricks. And that's what I meant by ran out of time. You know, we run out of time by keeping the same cycles, and we waste the time on the cycle instead of the new pattern. So one or the other gets drawn up every day, choice and chance, or not chance. You give yourself a choice, and what do they say? You get every day you get a chance to live your life and a choice, and that chance and choice will define what will be your new reality. Will determine your outcome. What's up, brother? Good smile. Thank you. Yeah, he's even giving me the smile of the I smell what you're stepping in type shit. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, you know? Some people, they smile. They let the time bathe them in the sunshine. And then some people, they'll grimace and hope that the next day will bring them a smile. And it won't. Unless you plant the seed, you can't sit under the shade. And unless you do the work, you can't pat yourself on the back. There are so many obstacles in life that you got to say, what am I going to spend time on conquering? What hill am I going to climb inside myself and say, no longer any more boulders in my back. I'm going to be a educated climber. I'm going to look at the patterns that I'm going to climb. I'm going to look at the Mount Everest, if you will, and say, okay, that's the way I'm going to go. That's the way I'm going to live and exit this proverbial rolling the rock and letting the rock roll back. Is that, I don't even know what Greek god that was, but he would roll it up and roll it down. It was his punishment to put so much effort and then to watch the ball roll back down. It's a metaphor for all of us. That's why the Greek tragedies were so potent, because there was all of us having a lust that made us yearn, right? Or a love that made us earn, or situations that made us learn. It's one of those things that all of us go through these Greek tragedies, and that's why we're all watching it. Is because some will all relate to one or the other characters that are in the Greek tragedy. Either you're the perpetrator, or you're the victim, or sometimes it's a parent, or it's a friend. It involves all of us. Not any one of us goes through this Greek tragedy of life without experiencing a loss, without experiencing gain, and without experiencing the dark and light, mostly saints. It's in all of us, this life. If you are alive and you were blessed with time, how much time are you going to spend on making the life experience better, or just enjoying it, or being the one that's like literally dreading the future or regretting the past? We can keep cycling, and you're allowed to. No one's going to stop you, but that's also going to be your pattern. And then to run out of time for pattern spent, you can't get back. You can't get back the time. Even if it was bad time spent, good time spent, they said there's no such thing as wasted time. But there's no time to undo the waste. We don't have enough time left to be like, oh, I wasted my life. You know, I wasted my life drinking beers at the bar. I wasted my life playing them video games. I wasted my life being too afraid of chasing my dreams. And I hear it in other people all the time, and going like, I'm too old to have a girlfriend now, you know? Or there's not enough time to go get a new education, or my patterns are so entrenched into the way that I am that I don't think this old dog can learn new tricks. I'm afraid of relationships. I'm like looking at it and all my failed relationships. I don't think I can keep them from bleeding into the new relationships. I don't think I can hold back all the heartbreak and baby loss and all the exposure to me, right? Makes me flinchy. It's like being on the front line of a battle or a war. You're going to be like, I've been shell shocked, if you will, you know? That every time I'm in a relationship, it brings up triggers in me or my red flags or things I got to experience again and again. It's like I haven't learned to exit that lesson. I haven't learned how to level up. And to get to next levels, you're going to have to go through your experiences and go, what other levels have I gone through to get to this level? I went and got through so many dark levels, weird levels, secret levels, almost like Mario Brothers. Good morning. And then you're going to have no time to readjust those levels. You're going to be spent all those times looking back at older levels that have bled to this new level, and you're going to be like, how do I get out of this level? How do I level up my life when I ran out of time? You know, I literally spent all the time on video games, then I didn't have any time on self-evaluation, or that I put more time into my comfort instead of my dream. And there's so many people that will put it out there for other people to see what they want them to see instead of making it a new reality inside themselves. And this is a tough thing. It's tough to create new realities. It's tough to create new dialogue and create a new pattern inside yourself to say, okay, this thing doesn't take place anymore. It doesn't work for me. And therefore I'm going to put new energy into new things that will work for me, benefit my time, benefit my health, and benefit my body. That would be optimal. Right, then that would be an optimal life, someone that actually lived instead of let the time go by and frivolously waste time. And that's what we're doing. We're wasting time and running out of time at the same time, and not doing anything to give ourselves a bonus for being alive. You know, the bonus of being alive is to enjoy the passing of time. You know, I spent most of my time being emotional inside myself, right? So then I would live emotional loops and just be in those, and they already happen, but they're spending the time that is now. Like, this has already happened, but it's taking up new time, so it's absorbed into this big ball, and instead of pushing it up the hill, it rolls back down, and I'm back where I started. And that's when I was like, I'm running out of time doing this loopy shit, you know? Cyclical behaviors. You want to say hi on the show? No, he's all good. You can, though.
I want more medicine.
Did you get more medicine? Pain meds? Uh-oh. Better than pain meds. My poor buddy's dying over here. And that's it. Do you giving yourself time to get healthy? Or are you going to give yourself that same exact time to commit the same cycle and regret it? And that's something that I don't want to do. The antithesis of regret is action. Being able to tell yourself that you're going to do something and give yourself a new pattern will be the ultimate test of your life, because either way, the time's going to get spent. Either way, the day is going to go by, and you're going to decide, am I going to be the type of person that follows my normal responses, that goes right back into the same pattern so I keep the same results? No, I don't know. That seems like Russian to me. I don't know. She's just screaming. But that's the intensity of time. It compounds. It's almost like an interest rate. It's almost like a bank, you know, not a bank, but like, say you put some money in a bank or a investment fund or an index fund, and you said, okay, I want this thing to multiply for me. I want it to give me resonance that I can thank myself in the future. One of the guys said he would put like $50 in his pocket, so that way when he would reach in the winter jacket, that he would get future dopamine. And this is interesting because most of us are looking for synthetic dopamine to plant a future dopamine moment with ourselves. Good morning. Good morning. And to say to ourselves, like, look, the future me will thank me, like with exercise. My future mentality, body and soul will feel so much better after workout. But to get somebody to go work out, I know most of us say, I don't want to work out. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like changing. I don't feel like doing. And then that is just, you're in commander of that ship. You're going to be the one that's in control of it. Good morning. Nice strawberries. Hell yeah. Raspberries. Raspberries. Yeah. And to be able to see that in ourselves and go, okay, I'm going to do something better for my time so my future self will thank me, my future waistline will thank me, my future bank will thank me, and my future body will thank me. That's the effort that I'm talking about. Something that brings more interest, compound interest, almost like that bank I'm talking about, on the lack of a better term, maybe an investment portfolio or something like that. But compound interest is what people make money on. They make money on a money that they let sit, that they let other people borrow. And in that intensity, you're going like, and my energy I'm going to put in today, is it going to give me an output of an interest rate? Is it going to give me, let's say, what's the other one? Not only compound interest, but a profit of my habits. Can I profit off of my habits, or are they going to be a demerit? Are they going to take up more of my time, more of my energy, and then I won't have enough time to change it? Or am I going to be the type of person that says, I put something in me that I can be grateful for later? Mental stability, financial freedom, a positive body image. These are tough things to attain. You can't just snap your fingers and say, hey, think positively. It's got to be push-ups after push-ups. I call them mental push-ups, but it's almost like saying, like, drop and give me 20. Would you be able to drop and give yourself 20 different positive affirmations and tell yourself something that's future self will thank you for? Or do you spend the time going into past self and going like, oh, I'm still that way, that's still hurting me, and I haven't got over my what do they call it, trauma? So it's this, it's this. And I was telling my friend, even with depression that I have experienced, not this friend that just went by, he says he's never experienced depression before, but for other people, it's like, this is a time sucker. When I call it being a depression survivor, because the longer you spend on your depression is the less you spend on your inspiration, right? So lingering in these zones of what's already happened, what's already hurt me, and what's not working for me, instead of putting something in that piggy bank of, oh yeah, man, this is what I will be proud of. I said, hey, I'm gonna have go get a college degree, or I'm gonna go get on more adventures and more trips and go travel. I said I was going to exercise, so I did. I kept my diet and I moved it forward. And that's future thinking. That's that future dopamine. That's that not a future faking that the other people talk about when you get into relationships and you think about all the things you're going to go do together. They're doing things for yourself that says, I thank my future self because I had enough wherewithal to tell myself, and I said this like in Finland too, that they had enough wherewithal to know that their people needed to learn English, because they would have been isolated with only 5 million people that speak Finnish. You wouldn't have anyone else to talk to, right? You wouldn't have anything else to thank yourself for. It's all been gone into this atmosphere of entertainment, or what's the other word that I keep hearing, where they keep you sedated, or just captured. It's a weird prison to be in your own head and be like, all I do is go to the refrigerator, go to the cigarettes, go to the corner store for my liquor. That's not a story exciting to tell. That's not something that someone's going to pick up a book and be like, yeah, let me learn about this story. You're going to be, that's a boring story. This isn't a story of elevation. All Greek tragedies, we want extreme disaster and a recovery from this disaster. Every time we watched a good story, it was like an underdog, and he was down and out, and he beat the odds, got off the streets of being homeless in India, or got out of their own minds and became someone that became more aware, more healthy of an individual. That's really the pattern. You know what I'm saying? This little girl's so cute. She's always come around with her phone, gets to walk around with her backpack and purse. She's so cool. Go ahead, walk right through the show. Fuck it. She got bigger things to do than me. You know what I mean? She's awesome. Kids are so cool. They're living in the moment. That's what I love about children. They got the light inside of them. They're like, hey, it's time to be alive. Fuck, it doesn't matter if what kind of bike I have. I'm just grateful to have a bike. I'm just grateful to be outside. I'm just grateful to be with my friends. They seem to appreciate life more than we do as adults, right? And with our adult minds, we're so sophisticated. What do? We spend more time on relapsing and redoing a lot of the same behavior and regurgitating what we've already done in the past. Go ahead, brother. Good morning. And and then we're stuck in a time loop, wasting time, running out of time, instead of seeing somebody that develops themselves, develops their time, develops their mentality so that they can do better. That's the whole point of this, is to do better by yourself, not having someone else do better by you, not finding the right partner and then all of a sudden you do better. It's being a vision for a vision. Like my buddy said once before, he said, I'm a vision for a vision. I wanted to marry this chick or have the vision the type of person that I want to marry, or the type of person that I want to be, or the type of energy that I want to see from myself. This is the hardest thing to capture is the self, and there's only so much time to be yourself. Life is so short. I'm watching all these old people walk by right now, and it just happens so fast. So every day is a blessing. It's a time clock. It's like being like on a football thing, and you snap back and you got enough time to make a play. We literally watch time go by. I know I do too. When I get on like my shorts, there goes another minute. Or when I'm watching, 20 minutes here for another YouTube video, or an hour of another YouTube video, we're literally giving over that time and saying, okay, let's let it fly by. Instead of developing me, I'm going to stay comfortable. Or instead of risking to be free, I'm going to keep repeating. And this is the time clock it's very subtle. It's like a silent clock, right? What do they call it? A snap countdown. When you're seeing the clock, I think you get 25 seconds, 24 seconds to make a play in the NFL. And while that time's ticking down, you're putting all your energy and all your organization into this new play. And you're hoping that it makes it. And of course, life is the defense, and it's going to throw you curveballs and make some things more difficult than they should be. But that's the point of living life. We don't want to have guarantees. We want to be able to make it interactive, right? It's the unpredictability of it that makes it fun. If we had all the answers, would we even want to get it done? And that's the whole plan. We're getting paper dropped off. That's who I was saying good morning to this morning. So, it's one of those things where you get to be actually in your own reality or in your own prison. And I fear that we spend most of our time in fear or in misalignment. And then there's where all our time went. We went into things that don't bring us future dopamine. We went for the synthetic dopamine that makes us feel okay now. It makes you feel subtle and comfortable. Finger flicking your phone. That wasn't an hour. That wasn't 3 hours of your time. It was just relaxed time instead of education time, or time that I needed to get my shit together or redevelop myself. That's what the time could have been. But instead, we'll live in the same thing and be like, what just happened? You know what I mean? And that's what's happening. We're on a time clock. We're on a play clock. And the time is ticking by, and we're just being okay with whatever the play will be, instead of developing something for a winning team. You need some help? You need some help. So I gotta get back to it. They just dropped us off some paper. I gotta get in the print shop. So that's this morning's motivation. If you got anything out of it, you already know. Like, share, and subscribe below. And as always, peace and love. And Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. That's bringing it in, dude. Let's get it going. Got you, bro. Thank you. So I got shit to do. The show's over. Thanks for watching. I hope you don't waste your time. Life is happening one day at a time, and it's a fast life, bro. I hope that you put it into things that benefit you in the future, that your future self will thank you for. And that's this morning's motivation. You got anything out of it, you already know. Like, share, subscribe below. But join We Club, follow Saints Addiction, and like up Mostly Saints. What are you trying to do? You trying to lift this whole thing yourself? You trying to lift this whole thing yourself?
No.
Or one by one?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right. I thought we were trying to lift the whole thing.
No.
So that's what I was coming to help with. So I guess that's not as heavy. Chigata, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. Say what's up. Thanks for dropping off the paper. So we got shit to do down here at the print shop, printing an hour. There's work to be done, and I'm going to go get it done. That's what I'm going to do with my time. I hope you do something with yours. Peace.